I can't help but reflect back when David talks about 7 years ago. 7 years ago, Dave Foster had an idea about creating an alliance he and I had talked about when he was on our board. Talked about creating an alliance between the labor movement and environmentalists, and we had been doing a lot of work quietly with the Sierra Club for many years, and we decided that we would create what we then called the Blue-Green Alliance. And we set out on one page the objectives of the Blue-Green Alliance to work together on reducing carbon, chemical safety, and trade. Those were the foundations of what we wanted to do. And we called a press conference, Carl Pope, myself, and Dave, at the National Press Club. And we believed, as we still do now, that was an important step forward. Only to end up at the National Press Club having me, David, Carl Pope from the Sierra Club, 2 or 3 staff that helped us make sure we got to where we were supposed to be on time, and 3 journalists, one of whom I think was drunk and didn't know where he was. That's not a criticism of journalists, because that could have just been us. And then you come back 7 years later, and you see what we've done. If you take the membership of the affiliate organizations that are affiliated to the Blue-Green Alliance, if we could mobilize those affiliates on the Repair America agenda, we would have 14 million. Think about that, how big the Blue-Green Alliance affiliations are. The organizations affiliated to the Blue-Green Alliance represent roughly 14 million members. Imagine what we could do to America and repairing America if we could mobilize that. You're the vanguard. You're the folks that are here. You're the folks that are here because you've got some interest. You've got some interest in making sure that we have a clean environment. You've also got some interest in making sure that we have good jobs. We have occasions where we work together on many things. I can give you examples of environmentalists who have stood with workers fighting right to work, fighting against paycheck protection laws, environmentalists that have stood with us on our collective bargaining goals. And we've stood with them on many issues. We don't always agree. Some issues we don't agree on. But the reality is this. We agree on 90% of the agenda. We agree that we have to repair, as Dave mentioned, our outdated pipelines. We have 2.5 million miles of pipe in America. Most of it is more than 60 years old, as Dave pointed out. Some it's 100 years old. We've got schools in America. More than 50% of the schools in America are older than 60 years of age. That means they're using antiquated air handling equipment. They've got antiquated ventilation and heating systems. They've got antiquated insulation systems. They've got antiquated wiring systems where they may or may not be able to bring broadband into their schools. You can go through a list. 86,000 bridges, I'm told, are defective in America. I know that in Allegheny County, where I live, cars and trucks have to do detours because certain bridges won't hold the weight. We just saw them building bridges. I don't know how many of you are from California or how many of you followed the Bay Bridge from California. It was 6 years behind schedule and billions of dollars over budget. Why was it? Because they decided they were going to get the steel made from China, and the steel made from China wouldn't hold the weld. They don't call it Chicago warming or Pittsburgh warming or LA warming. It's called global warming. And for every ton of steel that came from China, it produced 3 times the carbon emissions that a ton of steel would have come from North America. We were silent. We're silent. If we're going to repair America, and we want to do it with the most environmentally sound ways, we have to take a position that if you're going to use American taxpayer dollars, or for my Canadian friends that happen to be here, if you're going to use Canadian taxpayer dollars to repair the country, then damn it all, you're going to have to repair it with American-made products. Simple as that. Now, one of the things that David mentioned about Repair America is what the legacy will be if we don't do it. I can't figure out what's in people's minds or in their hearts when they want to pretend that we're not going through climate change. If you look at what's going on, I hope there's none of you in the room that are going to take offense with what I'm going to say. But if you got some of those damn nut job Republicans that, you know, if there's any Republicans in the room, raise your hand. Well, put it another way, any nut job Republicans in the room, raise your hand. Look at, there's these deniers. All you got to do is look around what's happening in the world. They didn't say it was going to instantly happen. What they said is, as a result of evolving changes in the climate, we would have unpredictable weather patterns. If you look at what's happening around the world, we've got unpredictable weather patterns going on. We've got places where they never saw snow that are getting snow for the first time in history. We've got places that always had lots of water that are going through drought. And my question to them is, why take the chance? If we repair America, think about the grid. You want to talk about saving some energy and saving some carbon? Repair the grid. 15% of the energy that makes it onto the electrical grid, if it goes more than 200 miles, 15% of that energy is lost. Think about the water pipes. Think about the gas pipes. Think about the bridges. Think about the schools. Think about rapid transit. Think about efficient transportation. Think about, instead of cutting transfers and the ability of the communities to have transportation networks with buses and light rail cars, think about supporting that so I don't have to take my damn car as the only way to get to work. If we do all of those things, we will take enough carbon out of the air that will make a difference for our kids and our grandkids. And we need to challenge them. It's not enough for us to just talk to ourselves. We need to go to the municipalities. We need to go to the state level. We need to go to the federal level and demand that we repair America, demand that we put people back to work, demand that we save energy, demand that we leave our kids a better future than the one we inherited. You know, when you get up and the chance to get at these podiums and you get to look down over the audience, sometimes it's pretty scary, you know. I'm not going to comment on whether you're ugly or not, but what I'm going to comment on is a lot of people in here, and I won't ask you to raise your hand. There's a lot of people in here that are far, 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 far away from the age of 30. You know, I'm one of them. I want, when I finish my time doing the work that I'm privileged to do, that I can sit in a rocking chair or a lazy boy chair somewhere, and I can know that because of what we did together in the Blue-Green Alliance or in our labor movement or in our environmental movement or in our anti-poverty movement, we get all these movements that care about the same values we do, and we can build a better future. I want to be sitting in that rocking chair and have my grandson's son sitting on my lap, knowing that we created a better future for him. You're the vanguard. That's why you're here. It's not enough to come here and sit on your ass and listen to comments for 2.5 days. When you leave here, you got to get to work and help us rebuild America. Thank you.